Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for joining me today. I have a special guest, a client of mine or a former client of mine who I'm going to bring on and invite to join us and talk to us about her journey. And she just joined, and I'm trying to find out. I'm inviting you to join, Consuelo. And I just invited you. So I'm just waiting for Consuelo to come on. Ah, here she is. Yes.
Hi, Jen.
So exciting.
I'm really excited too to share this
Oh,
great information.
thanks so much for coming on. So let's start off. I'm just going to start off and introduce you a little bit and also introduce myself for anyone who is new here. So first, my name is Jen Costanza. If you follow me, you already know that. And I am an integrative nutrition health coach, working with women who are experiencing stress, fatigue, weight gain, basically all these kind of symptoms of burnout. And Consuelo is a dear friend of mine and a former client who I've actually known for a long time. True story. She's probably known me since I was like 23 or 22 or something.
Right on.
Hello, Sunflower Yoga. Thanks for joining.
Hi, Christine.
And 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 yeah, so Consuelo did my hair for a very long time, and and um, and now I'm just gonna silent phone to make sure. Oh, I guess I can't. Um, and now she's here. Hello.
Hello.
To talk to us about her health journey and what it was like working with me. And a couple other things I wanted to mention just to introduce her a little bit more. And I think Consuelo is, she is a caregiver to her husband, who is a military veteran. And, and she'll tell you more about this herself, but for her, being in that position is something that she loves. She loves caring for her husband. And I know that she loves her husband so dearly. But being a full-time caregiver can lead to a lot of stress. And anyway, so I think I'm going to stop right there and have Consuelo start telling us a little bit about, you know, what was going on for you when you kind of reached out to work together?
Well, you know, being a full-time caregiver for my husband, challenging. There are a lot of stressors. There are a lot of surprise stressors that come up, whether it be health issues for my husband. We're currently going through some new health challenges for him, and that's been difficult. So again, I'm glad I went through this process with you, Jen, because it's been beneficial in this part of his new health issues. When we started, let's be honest, I originally reached out to you to start this process back in October of 2021. Life kind of took hold, and that got put on the back burner. And by January of 2022, I knew I was in a position that I was again facing burnout. But the difference between the burnout that I faced in 2018 was completely different this time around because I could recognize it. And that's when I realized that, I have an opportunity to help myself through someone that cares about me. I'd be a fool not to take her up on this opportunity. So as of January 2021, I made that call, apologized for being so off radar for a while, and was ready to take control of my life. And I just wanted to feel good inside. I had, I was lacking in energy. My sleep was off. there were just so many aspects of not feeling like myself, and feeling things starting to feel overwhelming, that again, I was very grateful that we started this process when we did. Yeah, so I am glad to be here. I'm glad for our relationship, Jen, to know you for this long and to see the process. And I'm really glad you made this choice to jump into your new life, because it benefited me in so many ways. And I hope it continues on to do this for others.
Aw, thanks. Um, so, so just to sum up, so obviously we know that you were dealing with a lot of stress, burnout.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you mentioned that your energy was really low. I remember, a couple things that you mentioned on that when we first like talked, well, in January, that
Mm-hmm.
you felt like at like an 11 out of 10.
Mm-hmm. My stress level? Absolutely. I remember we
And
laughed about that.
and I've totally been there, so I get it. And I also remember another thing that I've totally been there too. In terms of your energy level, that you felt like, a lot of the afternoons, like maybe like had like that afternoon slump or like needed a nap or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Um, that that was really tough, and I think that kind of snowballed into everything else. um, the lack of energy, and when you don't have energy, it's really difficult to kind of stay on track with your day.
Mhm.
um, it makes it harder to care for others. And my husband, and I'm just going to throw this out there so they kind of understand where um, my life is at and why this was so beneficial to me. My husband's a two-time Iraq combat veteran, and some of my husband's injuries that were sustained were post-traumatic stress syndrome, traumatic brain injury, um, seizures, which I think stem from his traumatic brain injury, major depressive disorder, night terrors, and we can go on and on. And, just recently he was, we found out that he has shattered glass in his lung from burn pit exposure. So this is like a whole new avenue we're walking down, and it's fresh, it's new. So we're dealing with that right now. So again, being able to do what you've taught me has actually helped simplify my life. If people can imagine that things that they wouldn't normally do, if they just kind of initiate it into their daily living, they can really make a difference.
Hmm.
And go on and on about you, Jen.
So what if, can you tell me like, so what kind of changes, like actual changes, what kind of things did you actually do? What changes did you make in your life during the time we were working together?
Um, well, I kind of realized that breakfast is an important factor. So to not go without that, if I
Mhm.
go without that today, I can definitely feel it.
Yep.
And not in the morning, throughout the day. It's almost like if I wait till lunch, my body's playing catch up. Um, and I can still have that slump. Uh, Other health changes, I don't shop for an entire week. I will shop for what I meal plan on the weekends, but
Planning.
huh?
Meal planning.
Love it. It was one of the best things to learn. Um, but being
Yeah.
able to meal plan, and actually keeping a food journal helped an awful lot to really kind of see what we were consuming. And not only did this, life change help me, it's actually helping my husband too, because now he's asking for smoothies on a daily. Um, I can put green in his smoothie and he no longer wants to gag. And he looks forward to it. And I've made other additional changes that he's been really open to and receptive to. So I'm really happy about that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So in terms of like what you were eating, what kind of changes did you make in terms of like like what you were eating before we were working together, and then how did your diet change?
Um, there were a lot of surprise dinners when my husband would ask, "What's for dinner?" I'd be like, "I don't know. I'll figure it out." Um,
Hmm.
and I spend a lot of time on the road running for doctor's appointments for my husband and whatnot. Um, I've stopped fast food eating, and I actually pack my lunches now, which has been a huge benefit because, there's nothing that will beat a fresh piece of fruit over a burger any day. And I say that wholeheartedly, that when your life is so quick paced and some days you just have to make quick decisions, fast food might be the way to go, but in the long run, it's not the way to go. And I was feeling that
Yeah.
sluggish feeling. So
So you started taking your food with you when you had to go on the road a lot.
hmm and definitely more fresh vegetables in my house. Fruit always available. So when those healthy foods are there, you're less likely to grab something that isn't so healthy. And,
Right.
it actually helped change the mindset and perspective on what you're putting into your body. I never paid so much attention to it before as I do now. And it's only been months after doing this program with you, but I think you've been able to instill in me things that I will be able to utilize for the rest of my life. So,
Right.
yeah.
Goal, right? To
Huh?
not have it, which is the goal, to be
Yes.
like make lifelong,
Yep.
habit changes.
Absolutely. And, working with you, Jen, and I told you this from the very beginning, my goal, sure, I would love to lose weight. Who wouldn't? But my goal was not to lose weight. My goal was to gain more energy, control my cholesterol, um, and just to feel better um, as a whole. And check, check, check. We've pretty much been able to check off everything um, from that very first meeting, and it's been a great experience.
So one thing you just mentioned was your cholesterol. I
Yeah.
remember when we first started working together,
hmm
a lot of people are in this situation, where your doctor tells you that your numbers need to be at a certain point, and if they're not, oftentimes doctors want to put you on medication.
Yes, that's
And
where I um, and it was scary um, to think that my health, I could be compromising my health just by my food choices. And my cholesterol was high. My doctor was concerned. Yes, and medication was brought up, but I asked for a chance. Now, not not many people know, but Jen, if I don't have to take a medication, I am happy. If I don't have to fill my body with things
Mhm.
whereas I can take control of my life just by living a healthier lifestyle, I want to do that. So I begged my doctor for another opportunity, and I had spoken to her about the work we had just started. Um,
Mhm.
and reluctantly, she said, "This is, I'll give you this chance, but if we don't see improvement when I see you 3 months later,
Mhm.
it medication." So I just had my doctor's appointment not too long ago. And from the changes I've made and the guidance you've given me, I'm happy to say my doctor was pretty blown away. I dropped 30 points on my cholesterol in 3 months.
That is
So, and I hear that's really good. It's not easy to do, but it was seamless through the program working with you. Um, and again, if there's anybody out there that's wondering what this experience would be like, I'd like to let them know that, Jen, you do it in such a way that you assist without judgment, without criticism. You gently guide in the best direction for the person. I just felt really safe working with you on this. And I felt really happy to have someone on my side that was my cheerleader, my cheerleader for myself, to make me a better person, to help give me a healthier lifestyle. So thank you, Jen.
I'm gonna start crying.
Cry. The only one you've done this for. So pat yourself on the back.
So one other thing I wanted to ask you about, I like you were when we first started working together, you were in a position of feeling like a lot of stress, like we talked about. And, and obviously, you still have those same a lot of those same stressors in your life,
Yep.
but I know that you've kind of changed, but you're not feeling the stress as much anymore. Can you kind of talk about how that's I know it's hard to kind of describe, but how that's kind of evolved for you?
Yes, it has evolved for me, due to your counseling on meditation. I strongly believe, encouraging me to meditate outside of, everything else for my health. You want to make sure that my wellness was complete. And meditation is so incredible that it really helps kind of just bring things down to a place where it's easy to deal with. And you don't get taken down or overwhelmed. And I believe that, in combination with the healthy lifestyle changes that I've currently made and will continue to make, I truly believe that I am on my best path right now.
And what are you doing now to I know we ended, I think, I don't know, like 6 weeks ago, something like that. What are you doing now to kind of continue with the healthy habits that you developed,
Mm-hmm.
so that these changes in your well-being and your cholesterol and your energy level, so it really stays, permanent?
Mm-hmm. Well, I do have to say, being able to introduce, and again, you gave me information on not only foods, but foods that had certain benefits, for what I was looking for too. You gave me great recipes on smoothies. You gave me great resources to back up everything you were encouraging me to do. And quite honestly, from the very beginning, it took about 3 weeks to feel a difference in what we were doing. And I'm not sure if I just went off track with your question, but I think I have an awareness now that I didn't have before,
Mm-hmm.
about, I am very aware of what I'm making to put in my, how it's affecting my body, and I'm paying closer attention to how I feel with the certain foods that I eat. And again, it's great to have the energy and to be able to not have that slump anymore. And my focus, here's the other thing, sometimes as a military veteran caregiver, or just a caregiver in general, the brain fog that we sometimes go through, I'm not experiencing that as often. I mean, I still have my moments. Like I just said, I just got lost in our question, but it's not, it's definitely gotten better.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just the awareness of what I'm putting into my body and how it's going to affect me. So.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think? I know we talked about this recently. Like, what do you feel like are your kind of like next steps, or do you have any next steps on your kind of health journey
Next steps,
with like things
I
you're
really,
working on?
yep, things I'm working on, more physical activity, um, finding myself the workout buddy that will also hold me accountable. Um, but really just staying on track with this. This is so fresh and so new, and in such a short amount of time, it's impacted my life that I really want to stay on this path of, again, my lifestyle has changed, my
Yeah.
health has changed. Why would I want to step away from this? So to be able to continue on with everything I've learned from you, um, I'm happy. I'm happy to, and I'm happy to have learned this because it's really made a difference.
And I guess last question.
Okay.
Um, what would you tell someone, there's, I know of women on here who are, experiencing kind of something similar to what you have experienced with burnout and just being super
Mm-hmm.
stressed out,
Mm-hmm.
exhausted,
Yeah.
um, wanting to make really big changes in their life. What would you tell them if, in terms of, the path forward, and if they are considering, reaching out, what would you tell them?
Um, I would tell them to just do it. Just do it. Um, Make the appointment. Take control of your life. Your new self is waiting to meet you. Honestly, um, I just think, and again, as that sounds, that almost sounds like a Hallmark moment. But as funny as that sounds, I think um, you've got to take care of yourself, and you've got to do what you can to help yourself live your best life.
Something I just remembered this when we were talking in January, you were like, you had kind of a schedule in your mind that I think your husband was going away to do a program away from home for a few weeks, and
Mm-hmm.
you want to try to start later so that you could be focusing on you like when he wasn't around, so you'd kind of like
Yeah.
have that more space.
And
And I
thanks
remember
for me.
I said to you, that
I remember you saying, when are you going to start? If you don't start now, you may never start. And what's holding you back? You made me question myself, and yeah, you made me realize that my self-care is important. So thank you, Jen.
you're welcome. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing with us today.
Thanks for asking me.
And if anyone is watching the replay and you have any questions for me or for Consuelo, you can just leave a comment, and either one of us will respond to them. And what else? And if you are considering, if you're in this position, you're wondering, is now the right time? Should I reach out? I offer a free discovery call. It's 30 minutes, and we just get together and talk about what's going on with you and your life, what your goals are, what's holding you back, and see if working together can help you to get to that space where you want to be. So if you're interested in that, just send me a direct message. And with that, I think we're done.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
thank you. And have a great rest of your day or evening.
Thank you too. Bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye, everyone.